I want to make this official. I was one of the first to say that Donald Trump would win the Republican primaries. I said it 6 months before the primary voting began on June of 2015, well before others could get themselves to believe it. So I tell you that because I don't let my personal opinions of Donald Trump affect my sense of whether he's going to win or lose. I thought he would win the Republican primary, and then later, as you guys saw, I thought there was a good chance that he could win the presidency. And when I warned that about that on ABC's This Week, the rest of the panel laughed, understandably so, given where the polls were at the time. But we talked about those warnings. So now, as I was one of the first to say that his reign would begin, I'm now ready to be among the first to say that his reign will end. Definitely. He's done. You could write it down in stone. He will not finish his first term. There's no way in the world he finishes 4 years. He's not capable of it. The country's sick of it. The people in power are sick of it. And yes, that is important. And I'm going to tell you exactly why he's going to be leaving. Now, as to how quickly that'll happen, so that is a much harder guess. Like I said, definitely not the whole 4 years. It could be as quickly as a week. It could be as long as 18 months. I would be surprised. Wow, I would be very surprised if he made it all the way to 18 months. From this day forward, my best guess is within 6 months. But like I said, it could be so much faster that you're going to be shocked by it because we're at the bottom of the barrel. So let me explain. So now you guys know what he did recently. He said there was very fine people on the neo-Nazi side in Charlottesville. He blamed both sides for what happened. I just can't get past it. There's so many horrific moments from that rally, including an avowed Nazi running over 20 people, 19 injured, and Heather Heyer killed. A Nazi killing somebody on US ground should be easy enough to condemn, and he couldn't bring himself to do it for 2 days. You guys know all of that, right? But after that, and then the part that really sticks out from a story from today is that synagogue in Charlottesville, as they have armed Nazis parading in front of them. They couldn't get cops to show up, and they were scared. They were huddled together, and they thought. Alan Zimmerman from the Temple was quoted as saying, "I can't believe this is 2017 in America." They had to take the Torah and the Holocaust scroll out of the building to make sure that it didn't get damaged. America in 2017, and he was equivocating on that. It's beyond gross. It's not who we are. Okay, so but beyond that, then one person, the CEO of Merck, leaves his manufacturing council, and he lashes out at him. What an unbelievably unintelligent move to make. Then you're burning your allies now. And what message does it send to the others? Well, it sent a very bad message. So then the CEO of Intel left, and the CEO of Under Armour left, and then he yelled at them. And then you know what happened today? The whole council is gone. They disbanded the manufacturing council and another economic council because, as I suggested on the show yesterday, yes, in fact, business leaders did meet behind the scenes. They had a call led by Steven Schwartzman, who's actually one of Donald Trump's top allies, and they decided that they would all leave en masse. They would shut down the council. Yesterday on the show, I told you, I made that sound. That's the sound of power leaving the building. He's almost got no allies left. Look at what he's done. He's attacked Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader. He's attacked Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House. He's attacked John McCain. He's attacked Susan Collins. He's attacked all of his allies. Well, who's going to defend you? And then his own loyalists, Scaramucci, Gahn, Christie, didn't get the position he wanted. Giuliani didn't. Newt Gingrich did. People who were loyal to him never got the things that he promised them. And then the people who were already there, the Sean Spicers and the Reince Priebuses, and he goes after even Jeff Sessions in public, trying to get rid of his own attorney general. He's got no allies left. The businessmen who wanted those tax cuts he promised them, they've left the building. Who does he have left? And now he's attacking Manafort. Manafort was his campaign chairman, and his house, Manafort's house, was raided by the federal government to get evidence. Then Trump goes to the National Enquirer and attacks Manafort. Very clear, brazen. This is the kind of leaks that Trump does consistently to the National Enquirer. And the only reason you attack Manafort is if he's already turned evidence against you. So there is that angle that is also imminent as the special counsel continues to investigating. And the part that people underestimate, though, is his inability to mount a comeback. Because you think, well, he's the president. Presidents go up, presidents go down. Politicians go up and down, and their polls they fluctuate. No. He has misunderstood his mandate. First of all, his mandate was not to be the leader of the white nationalists. I know he thinks that, but his mandate was it was very simple, to just not be Hillary Clinton, and he couldn't pull it off. It was not a high bar. But what does that mean, not to be Hillary Clinton? Don't be the establishment. Don't do the deals that she was criticized for, taking money from people, et cetera. No, he surrounded himself with Wall Street guys, Goldman Sachs guys that he criticized Hillary Clinton for. He did all the things that he criticized Hillary Clinton for, and then more corruption, personal corruption, way worse than Clinton's, and then the white nationalist stuff. So he doesn't have people supporting him for a white nationalist movement. That is a tiny percentage of his base. And certainly a tiny percentage, even if you don't think it's a tiny percentage of his base, it's certainly a minuscule percentage of the overall people who voted for him, who mainly just didn't want the establishment in power. He's completely misunderstood it. And that's because he doesn't have a very high intellect. Boy, is that an understatement, probably the understatement of the year. So which leads us to this. In order to be able to come back from this kind of disaster, where you've accomplished nothing, you couldn't deliver on the promises that you gave to your supporters, like repealing the Affordable Care Act. You've gotten nothing done, it's complete incompetence. You said you had all these secret plans, it turns out you didn't have any secret plans. You surrounded yourself with a swamp, and now you're equivocating on neo-Nazis. Well, the only way to get out of that is through some brilliant strategy, and he ain't got that. There is no brilliant strategy. There is no three-dimensional chess. There's no two-dimensional chess. There's no chess at all. There's nothing going on there. He barely has two brain cells to rub together. So he's not gonna do a comeback. He doesn't have it in him to do it. And the other thing that he will do going forward is he will not make it better. He will make it worse. He will dig that hole deeper and deeper and deeper. You know why? Because he can't help himself. Whenever he gets in trouble, he gets himself into further trouble because he's not smart enough to figure out when it's enough. Stop talking, stop tweeting. He doesn't know any better. He looks at it and thinks, I'm winning, I'm fantastic. Everybody else is a mess. He thought that press conference yesterday was a good idea. He'll do it again. I know you think, no, you can't back neo-Nazis again, that's insane. He'll do it again and again and again. Because he's not bright. He's a stupid, incompetent man. All right, so finally, look, in this country, we are not pro-Nazi. We defeated the Nazis, and yes, the Republicans are maddening. Yes, they back policies like voter ID laws, keeping Muslims out of the country, and let alone their attacks against immigrants. And those are despicable, but they're on a different plane than what Donald Trump has done here. From the moment all of us were born, almost all of us were taught that the Nazis were the bad guys. We defeated them. We're for freedom, and they're fascists. And if Donald Trump thinks that the majority of the country thinks the opposite, he is sorely mistaken, gravely mistaken. And on top of that, this man is deeply, deeply unstable. And now everybody sees it. The Republican leadership sees it, the business leaders see it, everyone in power sees it, and yes, even his own supporters are beginning to see it. And we can't have this kind of instability as the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief. People have to take action, and they will. He's also given them this golden gift of having actually colluded with the Russians. So now we'll see how that investigation plays out, but all they need now is any kind of cover. If there is any type of indictment, any evidence linking Trump to the Russians, I think there's tremendous evidence, and I think it's financial, but you don't even need that anymore because he's lost all of his allies. All they need is an excuse to go, okay, that's it, we're done with him. Because the country can't take this kind of instability, and the country is not pro-Nazi. So I told you, his number one problem going in, and this is why I told you should never ever consider not only not voting for him, of course you shouldn't vote for him, but make sure that he doesn't get in office, because outside of his being a vitriolic, horrible human being, his number one problem is even deeper than that. Unbelievable, record-shattering incompetence. And now the entire country sees it, and we gotta get him out before he causes any more damage to America, to all of our unity and community, and to the world. And they are gonna do it. He's done. He's now just playing out the clock. It's just only a matter of time before Donald Trump resigns in disgrace. And I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you he will. Support independent media. Come join us at the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.